everybody, welcome to the MMA HEAT podcast. I'm Karyn Bryant.
And I'm Pete Cummins.
This is podcast number 50, Pete.
Nice. Is there any like celebration?
I don't know. What'd you bring?
I brought you a pen. This is an official 50th. I believe that's the Cinque Decade.
You stole that pen. Where'd you steal this pen from? Is it a what is it? Oh, jeez.
I steal
it's for like a medical. You stole it from a doctor's office.
No, I was given it because of all the work I do with the United Cerebral Palsy.
Anyway, happy 50th show. And happy belated Father's Day. How was it? What'd you do yesterday?
Well, yesterday, not much, but my kids, let me show you how much respect my kids have for me. Here's one card. It's taped to stomach, so I can apparently finally have a six-pack. And then the other boy gives me an order of the royal flush. Hereby present you with Dad's golden throne, as I'm the king of the toilet. So 9 years old, and I've already lost respect from both of my boys. So
that is awesome.
It's a little tough to take.
That's tough. Yeah. Well, we had a nice day. We just kind of putzed around at first. I had to play tennis, and we came home, and I was gonna make brunch, and he said, "Oh, I don't want brunch. Let's go do something." And I had made us reservations at a really nice steak place, and I've been saving up all week, not eating like a whole lot, and saving up because I really rarely eat red meat. And this guy's all like, "I don't want to go out for a steak. I ate too much more vacation last couple days." Like, really? You could have told me while I was eating kale salads for the last 4 days because I was saving up for prime rib beat, and I got shafted, and then we went out somewhere else. Anyway, we had a nice day. We went to see Inside Out, which I know you saw as well.
I've heard a lot about how you felt about Father's Day.
He had a great day. I was looking forward to steak. I made a nice reservation.
I don't really believe Father's Day is about what you're looking forward to.
Okay, anyway, it was good. It was good. No, we had a nice day, and we saw Inside Out. Maybe we can talk about that later.
We had a nice time.
We did have a nice time. It's round one. Oh, by the way, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about Bellator, which we're going to get into right now. Joanna versus Jessica, and some upcoming things as well. Pete's obviously going to have round 5, but round 1 has started. Pete, we're 15 seconds into it. Friday night. The most anticipated fight, catchweight fight.
The fight
in
that
history.
MMA fans have been demanding for years.
Okay, so Kimbo slice, as you see here in our fabulous, and we kept this one in the packaging, Pete, because we didn't want to mess around with Kimbo. Yeah, in Bellator, Kimbo fought Ken Shamrock, and okay, there's so much to say. This is going to take a little while. Kimbo won. First round TKO, or KO, I guess, after nearly being submitted by the most dangerous man in the world. By the way, the most dangerous man in the world walked out with his entire family, which really, to me, took away from the danger factor. I thought it was too kind.
But then he made up for it by having this gargoyle here come out. The walking hockey player gargoyle Mad Max guy.
Now, please, somebody, I kind of poked around in the internet. I don't know who this is. If this is a character that I'm just missing, please let me know. Maybe that really person signifies something. I don't know.
With like the sweatpants
totally.
and their shirt.
It's like a homemade superhero costume.
No, you know what reminded me of Spinal Tap with the Stonehenge and the dwarves come out?
We said 18 feet up, but when you drew it, you said 18 inches.
Well, it's either that or like he was like the Stonehenge dwarf and like that weird Fox NFL robot guy.
Yeah.
Like if they had a child, that's who you get.
Don't disrespect Cletus like that. By the way, Cletus.
He actually has a name, Cletus?
Cletus, and the one who does the fights is Beatus.
The Fox robot.
Yes, the Fox robot. Because he's football, he's Cletus. And then the fight one is Beatus.
Gotcha.
Dude,
gotcha.
I've got pictures with Cletus and Beatus. Like, whatever. Anyway.
That's just a little too much knowledge. That's like one of the...
I work at Fox.
All right. You know, you might want to have that sucked out of your head.
Okay. Anybody who saw Inside Out, you'll know. I can dump that one from the long-term memory bank. I won't be needing that. So anyway, Kimbo came out just with a regular ring walk. The thing that bugged me about Ken's ring walk just took too long. You know what I mean? It was like he's too slow with the whole family. If
there
you're
was
that
a singer. There was a woman singing. There's the mini St. Louis Arches. The entire family. The Road Warrior dude. None of it blended. none of it made sense. It was pageantry. I give Bellator an A for pageantry.
You know, it's funny though, because since he came out first, and this kind of set a weird tone, but then Kimbo's was cool. Like, you know, Wade was like, oh, I kind of like Kimbo's, because they had just kind of cool visuals of Kimbo being Kimbo. And you know, I gotta say, I worked with Kimbo before. I was there working the fights for CBS when they were first supposed to fight years and years ago. Kimbo's a good guy. He's not a bad guy at all.
What's the thing though? What's the?
It's like the fist. Is it glove? It's like the black. Is it the black power? Or is it just a big fist? Isn't it just a big?
Is that what it is? A fist?
Yeah.
It's just
but I don't remember if it's in a glove or anything. Were you considering rocking that look for yourself?
Yeah, you know, it's just, you know, it's big.
It's big. So Kimbo won, but he almost got submitted with a choke. That Ken tried and tried and tried and tried.
How did he not get submitted with that choke?
Are you saying? What are you saying, Pete?
I'm not saying anything. I will tell you what some other people are saying.
What are other people saying?
Joe Rogan thinks it's a fix. There are other, but of course, Joe Rogan thinks everything's a conspiracy theory.
Totally, he's the king.
But listen, I think Joe Rogan's point was that he had a hand up on Kimbo's forehead there,
instead, which would actually be giving him more room on the neck area, perhaps. So you're saying he.
So listen, I'm not saying. All I know is, I don't know how he didn't get it. I understand that he's 51 years old, but you're still applying pressure to a guy's neck. You know, so I guess I got to give Kimbo all the credit in the world.
Kimbo's been training at American Top Team, and you know, it's a tribute to that. Maybe he just had better technique and was able to get out of it. I think.
But how do you get out of that?
Because his arms, it's end around one. We're going to keep going through this. His arms maybe perhaps burnt out. He doesn't have the, let's say, a 51-year-old. He doesn't have the abilities he maybe used to have. Okay, but I don't think it was fixed. But like, why would Ken agree to that?
Yeah, no, listen.
You know what I mean?
I don't think it's fixed because, first of all, Ken also took a knockout shot.
Yes.
So, you know, so like generally if you agree to get fixed, it's like, you then hit me with a soft one and then I go down. You don't actually put a gash in my forehead.
Right.
Listen, I'm sorry, but this is like when Happy Days jumped the shark.
Literally jumped the shark. Right. Okay.
I don't know what Bellator is thinking, but first of all, they had a light heavyweight, they had a featherweight championship as their co-main, and as their main, no disrespect to either of these men, but Kimbo has a 4-2 MMA record fighting against a 51-year-old man, and that's their main event. I mean, Scott Coker just took a shit on the sport, basically. No, come on. This was like halfway between professional wrestling and mixed martial arts. The whole walkout thing. Why? You have no respect for the sport and for your own, you know, and for your own organization. If you have your championship as the co-main and as the main, you have a 4-2 fighter going against a 51-year-old.
But the champ did not make weight, am I correct? Patricio-Freire actually missed his weight for his own title fight, I believe, if I'm not misremembering that. So maybe he should respect it a little bit more. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure he missed his weight. But anyway, you know, Ken is somebody who has been around and is synonymous with the early days of MMA. I think just out of time well spent in the sport, he deserves to be the main event. I mean, it's what's putting butts in the seat. I'm sorry, and again, no disrespect to Freire and all that, but that's not why people showed up. So,
do you know how the UFC
David Strauss had a nice win?
Do you know how the UFC puts butts in the seat? They had the two top fighters fight against each other. They don't resort to marketing ploys. Come on, he's 51. Listen, no.
Unfinished business, Pete.
First of all, let me give Ken Shamrock all the credit in the world, by the way. He's 51.
Still kicking.
He's a grandfather, and he steps in there. So it is nothing against him, nothing against Kimbo Slice. I mean, these guys have earned it. But Bellator, I'm sorry, just basically said, we're a joke. We're a joke, and we even know we're a joke. So even our championship fight is going to take a backseat to this circus show that we're about to put out.
I want to move on to something they announced. Tito Ortiz is actually, we're saying with Bellator here, so Tito will be facing Liam McGeary for the title. Okay, so that's happening in September. They announced that fight. They also announced that there's a tournament that will be taking place with Phil Davis and Emmanuel Newton, a couple of other guys. But Tito will be fighting for the title, and we knew this a while ago, actually in April, but they weren't able to announce it. So we've actually had this whole interview. We have this whole interview we'll be putting up on our YouTube channel / Karyn Bryant. This whole interview with Tito. But here's what Tito has to say about Liam McGeary and the fight that he saw with Emmanuel Newton and how he feels about winning, beating Liam.
Well, strategically, did you see anything that Emmanuel was doing right, i.e. wrestling, that could help you?
You know, when I seen him body lock Liam to the ground as easy as it was, and, you know, nothing against Emmanuel, he's a smaller guy. If I get that position, I don't know. I watched Liam, and like I say, he has nothing wrong. Everything, he's perfect. Everything he does is perfect. Continue doing what he's doing, and he might have a chance. Ooh. But I don't know.
Ouch. He's actually a great guy too.
No, he's a really, no, you know, it's funny. No, I talked to him before the fight even happened. You know, I gave him high fives and he gave him a hug. What's up? Good luck to you. I mean, I want him to win, and he did win. But this is about survival skills. This is about the survival of the fittest, and the survival of the fittest is getting that world title around my waist. You know, I won 5 world titles in the UFC, and I would love to win another one in Bellator.
So yeah, we went on to say he wants to win another title this time in Bellator, not another Bellator title, to clarify. But so that actually I think will be an interesting fight. Liam McGeary had a response to this on his Facebook. This is what he posted. So there it is. The word is out. I'm fighting Tito Ortiz, former UFC legend, Hall of Famer. I'm going to show him the respect he deserves leading up to the fight. But make no mistake, as soon as that cage door shuts, the respect is closed outside too. All that will stand before me is a man who is trying to take my title, the thing I worked so hard to get, made all those sacrifices for. You, Pete, take over.
I don't fucking think so, mate.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, since you're the official F-bomb dropper. So that's going down in September. I actually think that's going to be kind of a fun fight. You know, Tito is obviously very experienced, and in this interview we do with him, he talks about, you know, how healthy and rejuvenated he feels lately, mentally and physically. So we have a nice talk about that. You guys can recognize that was filmed at Rain Training Center, Mark Munoz's gym, before it trained you, before it closed, rather. You probably also saw Bisbing walking by there, down there, all training together and stuff. So we've had that interview. We are now able to put it all out for the world. He also has some fun things to say about the Jose Aldo Conor McGregor fight, that's definitely worth watching because, you know, he talks. You know, Tito's a former champ. I mean, listen, the guy was the champ for a long time, from 2000 to 2003. He beat Vanderlei to win this at UFC 25, and he lost it to Randy Couture a couple years later at UFC 44. But you know, Tito is a guy that a lot of people like to make fun of. But again, kind of like Ken. Some ways they're targets that it's easy to make fun of them, but you gotta respect everything that they've done before. And Tito has always been really, really cool to us. MMA HEAT. I like the guy.
All respect to these guys.
Yeah.
Like, they were all really good fighters in their younger time. But like, just like you're not going to get me up for like this weekend, Rod Laver and Jimmy Connors take to the court in the match that everyone's been dying to see. Once and for all, Connors Laver, 33 years after the fact. It's like, I mean, is Scott Coker setting this up as like a seniors league or something?
Stop! Well, you know,
no, but
we could get
listen.
No, it's time for round 4. You can talk about Scott later on. It's round 3, rather. I'm so fired up I can't even count. Listen.
I didn't realize I was hitting such a nerve.
I should say the opinions expressed by Mr. Comment are not necessarily those shared by people who have formerly worked with Mr. Coker and who actually really like the gentleman and who appreciate his efforts to continue the growth of a sport that we so love.
I just want to know his efforts. If his efforts are to do a senior league, so so these guys can keep fighting, that's cool.
It's not a senior league. He's doing the light heavyweight tournament. Phil Davis, now Phil Davis is senior. Emmanuel Newton, the former champ, King Mo. These guys are not senior. They're still viable fighters.
Viable fighters. There's an adjective. Bellator, our fighters are viable. First of all, I just want to read
Daniel Strauss, these guys, Mike Chandler still. I mean, there's.
I just want to read a tweet that Coker put out. Just watch rehearsals and the fighter walkouts are going to be sick. You won't want to miss it. Dude, rehearsals, walkouts, it's pageantry now. It's getting really close to professional wrestling.
No, there's not. Okay, here's the thing. Speaking of that. Okay, speaking of pageantry, this is something that's actually quite cool, I think. At UFC, Bellator 142 on September 19th, it's actually going to be a co-promotion with Glory Kickboxing, and you know they're going to have this tournament. So they're going to have the tournament with Phil Davis, King Mo, Emmanuel Newton, and Linton Vassell. Then they're also going to have Joe Schilling, Paul Daly. These guys are going to be on the card as well. Kickboxing, and that is kind of the whole thing. Like they want to kind of make it more of a big show. I don't know if anybody remembers. We went to the K1 Dynamite show, I guess it was at the Coliseum and stuff, and they had the great intros. It's kind of like the Pride thing. Don't hate, Pete. It's fun.
Listen,
lighten up.
A week after Kane Verdum,
which was amazing.
You give us this.
But what can you compare to Kane and Verdum?
What you're gonna do?
That's not fair.
You gotta get.
You know what you can compare? What do I have to do? I'm sorry to interrupt you. What do we have to do? We have to get what, Pete?
Listen.
Finish it.
You get some great fighters, and then people start going, wait, I think he could beat his UFC counterpart, and that's how you do it.
Well, they wanted to have a co-promotion. I believe it was with World Series of Fighting. That's tricky, though, to do cross-promotional actually, my champ can be your champ.
Like, the closest thing that's coming to it is this cyborg Ronda Rousey, hey, they should fight type of thing that, Invicta is doing. But, listen, you had no respect for your own championship fight. You had no respect. So, sorry. I don't have respect for it either now.
Wow!
And I'm sure that Scott Coker is bummed out. Damn it! Not that guy.
My noogie is dissatisfied.
Once my noogie states it, it's out there.
At any rate, folks, round 3, we were going to talk about Joanna and Jessica Penne, which we will still try to do here for a little bit, and I have a feeling that will now bleed over into round 4 a little bit. Speaking of bleeding, my goodness, Jessica Penne in defeat. What heart this woman showed. This was...
I can't believe she made it out of the second round.
Phenomenal. I mean, what a tough girl. Okay, so all praise due to the champ for sure. Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Awesome. That girl is awesome.
She is gangster.
I know you're a huge fan.
Gangster.
You love her.
She is.
She's probably one of your top 5 fighters, right?
Yeah. No. She's got more of a gangster attitude than anybody, man or woman. She's just bring it on. You're going to. And that weigh-in.
Yeah.
Dude, I felt like I was watching two birds go at it, where you can't tell if they're about to fight or mate. They were like. And I'm
Which one were you more excited to see?
And I'm like this. Holy shit, they might kiss.
What fires you up more, the face punching or the mate? If they'd made out, what would you have actually liked more?
I believe if they made out during the weigh-in, I think that would have gotten a lot of eyeballs.
Broken the internet, probably. Yeah.
No, but they were and I'm like, I don't know. I can't tell what's going on here. This is.
But you were tingling all over. Just the thought of it, weren't you?
I was tingling all over.
Woo!
I was fluttering. I was fluttering. My little hormones were going, woo, woo. I was tingling all over. Can you give me a more effeminate sounding? I was tingling.
Well, I'm talking about two badass women who...
I just think 2 badass women who were nose to nose, pressing their faces.
Here. We'll
they could have each just given each other just a little side kiss.
Just a little.
Wow.
At any rate, so we're gonna power through our break. You can take a cup of coffee. Take a sip. You good? Do you need a towel off or anything? Do you need?
Am I blushing?
Let me get the end swell because your head is exploding right now.
Yeah, very descriptive words, by the way, you're coming up with today.
That's what end swells what the corner man has with him. That's part of the kit. Really?
I'm like, I wonder if anyone's still watching.
Yeah. So. Okay, we'll pick it up in round 4, Pete. This is.
Anyway, Joanna, unbelievable. It was Jessica, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and 11 takedown attempts got basically stuffed, except for the one at the end of round 1. But man, this girl. You do not look pretty when you leave the ring after being with her.
All right, we're in round 4 now. Here's the thing, like you said, at the end of round 2, you were surprised that Jessica answered the bell even really and came out when they kind of cut away and you saw how big that cut was on her nose. All I could think of was don't blow it, because we saw that the other day with Eddie Alvarez. But yeah, I mean, you know. Joanna's technique is so good and so strong, and she's so aggressive and so forward-moving. Like you said, though, her takedown defense was very good. But Jessica, I have to say, I feel like in defeat even probably surprised a few people at how well she did, how long she hung in there, as opposed to Carla Esparza, who everybody thought, oh, could take Joanna down and be able to win that way. Like the fact that, sure, she ended up getting hit a lot, but that Jessica was willing to stand there and trade with somebody who's such a great striker. So Joanna landed 62% of her significant strikes. She landed 126 out of 204. Jessica landed 25 of 88, so a lower percentage for her, only a 28% significant strikes landed. Again, Joanna with 162 total strikes landed out of 247. So she really is an incredible fighter. They did get Fight of the Night, so they have $50,000 extra money. But there's some good facts on Joanna's win. First strawweight champ to successfully defend, obviously, since she took it from Carla, who only had the one fight. She's actually now earned both of her UFC stoppages by knockout, so that's kind of cool that she's somebody who's able to finish. So she outlanded her. Yeah, it was a plus 101 differential in the significant strikes landed that we saw there. So that is the second greatest advantage in a UFC championship fight, between Rich Franklin's plus 106 advantage over David Loasso. She's
going to dominate like Ronda dominates.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, who's...
Well, they say she might fight Gadelha again if Gadelha beats Aguilar at UFC 190 down in Brazil. Because that was a close fight the first time that they fought.
Joanna's got the championship swagger now. I think she's a different fighter.
She's a badass,
Now, I do have to say that I've been giving people grief, so I do want to say that the announcer, John Gooden...
Yeah.
Jessica Penne is eating supplements of shin and leather.
You like that one?
I was like, what?
I loved it.
Jessica Penne is eating supplements, and I can't say it in his British accent, but eating supplements of shin and leather.
Yeah.
I'm like, what a wonderful way to put it.
It's nice. But she is a badass, and Jessica's the first female fighter in the UFC to receive 2 Fight of the Night awards. So, she's fought Miranda Marcos successfully, not so successful against the champ. But, I mean, what a badass. And to me, she is so tough. I mean, forget about it. So good for her. I'm excited to see what the champ does next, because she really is fun to watch. Also, upcoming this weekend, UFC-wise, there is the Fight Night, Machida versus Romero, and now I'll be doing the weigh-in show for this one on Friday. Now the card got all messed up because it turns out, here's the official statement. Due to an issue affecting the Department of State's Bureau of Consular Affairs visa system and a technical problem with the Consular Consolidated Database.
The UBABCD.
Yes, of course. UFC is unable to secure entry for 12 of the athletes who were supposed to fight. So the card has now changed quite a bit, but Lyoto Machida is facing Yoel Romero, the Soldier of God, and we know that Lyoto had a fight with Luke Rockhold not too long ago that he did lose, and he kind of said he wanted to get back in there quickly and had a messed up hand and got that fixed. But the co-main event is Lorenz Larkin versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. We got Eddie Truck Gordon in there against Antonio Carlos Jr., better known as Shoeface. You're on the Shoeface hype train, yeah? Shoeface. He was on. I love this guy. He was on The Ultimate Fighter, the one that Chael and Vandy did, and his nickname is Cara de Sapato, like face of shoe, and his name's Shoeface.
And doesn't strike me as a compliment. It's not
complimentary, no, and that's the whole thing.
I'm not sure that Soldier of God sounds intimidating. Shoeface sounds like a guy who's eating supplements of sneaker and...
No, they don't play around. They're like, you're funny looking. Your nickname is funny looking guy. You know what I mean? That's just how they are. But Shoeface is actually fun to watch.
Does his face look like a shoe? How would one's face look like a shoe?
It's sort of long.
He's long.
Yeah, he's not a bad looking. I didn't make up the name.
Right.
Anyway, Shoeface is going to be in action. I like seeing him fight. He lost to Patrick Cummins, but it's just fun. I swear to God, I'll say it all day long on Friday on the weigh-in show. Shoeface as much as I can. It's funny.
Suck lips and Shoeface.
Shoeface. It's fun to say. So anyway, that's coming up this weekend. You know, it'll be interesting to see because Lyoto, obviously, we know he's like counter-punching style and this and that, and maybe he's a little timid after having lost to Luke, or maybe he'll be overly inspired and overly invigorated. The thing is, you know, Yoel was all about those explosive takedowns. You've got to catch Lyoto to take him down, however.
Right.
And, you know, Lyoto has always been a very fast guy. Now, of course, Yoel Romero, last time he had that little scandal with Tim Kennedy about not getting off the stool in time, and Tim was all complaining that Yoel was on the stool too long, and his corner people said we didn't understand because it's a language thing, and then Tim was complaining, even though he got to rest too. Got up, got KTFO'd. So it's like, maybe you should just have kept your hands up, Tim. Sorry. But it was a close fight.
I do like the corner being like, we didn't understand that. It's like, how many instructions are you ever given? Yeah. There's like, get off this, you know, no one's...
Get out, get in.
Like,
get
no
out,
one's asking you to make a cappuccino over there, you know?
Round 5.
No, I said soy milk.
Soy milk, God, for crying out loud.
Round 5.
Stevia? Anybody have stevia up in this
We're going to have a little fun in round 5.
Are we going to?
Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do another episode of Comment Exchange Theater.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
So, Karyn, you will be playing the role of Juan Sandoval.
Juan Sandoval. Okay. Sounds like a real...
So if you can, read that, please.
Is Juan Sandoval... I don't want to be... never mind. I'm just going to read it straight. I was going to put an accent based on the name, but I don't know where he's from, so I will just stop that. I'm reading like a black girl. I'm really impressed by how knowledgeable Pete is after only following the sport for the last year or so.
Thank you. I'm kidding. We're not actually going to do Comment Exchange Theater. I just wanted to hear you read that. Juan, thank you very much. That was the best thing that I've gotten. Okay, now let's go on to High Five.
I totally fell for that.
Okay, so...
seriously.
High Five. In light of both of us seeing the movie Inside Out yesterday, I have decided, I spent the morning going inside Scott Coker's head.
Once again, the opinions expressed...
I went up inside his head as we determined his thinking in setting up the September 19th main event. There's some very interesting things.
The September 19th, Tito and Liam.
Yes, but but we want to know how Scott kind of got there. And what Scott did is sort of a bracket. He came up with eight very interesting main events, and he sort of, compared each one, and so the first one, you considered Royce Gracie.
How much he's learned in a year? Doesn't even know.
He hasn't fought in the past yet.
Royce Gracie, the godfather of the sport.
Royce Gracie versus Ken Shamrock 3, or Herschel Walker versus 8 meth heads, and interestingly enough, he went for it is.
No, it isn't.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I looked it up.
No, it's H-E-R-S-C-H-E-L.
Okay, well,
Herschel.
Listen, this isn't me. This is Scott. So, anyway, Herschel won that one.
Okay. So Herschel won that one. But who did he fight? Royce or Ken?
No, it's just his decision making. This is Scott's decision making.
Okay, I see.
And then the next matchup, Stallone versus De Niro, Grudge Match 2, the one everyone's calling for. And you compare that against Max Schmeling's accountant's grandson versus Mickey Rourke.
Oh, that was...
And actually, that one won. So the Mickey Rourke won.
Nice.
He's considering that one.
Okay.
And then 5, we went to 5. He's considering Chuck Liddell versus an animatronic Jack-Rack workout equipment.
What's Jack-Rack?
That's the workout equipment that Chuck.
Okay.
But in it, the workout equipment apparently comes to life, and
nice. Okay.
And they have quite a battle.
Right.
So there's that. Or the other main event would have been Justin Bieber with a .22 rifle and 6 bullets versus a grizzly bear.
I'll take the bear in there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Actually, that's what he took too.
Can the bear take roids? Can the bear please juice to do whatever it takes? to win that.
Yes. Well, a 22 is probably just enough to slow down a grizzly.
Yeah, it wouldn't. But
when you're
really...
in a small cage, I think Justin would have a little. Would have a little trouble with that.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Even if the Burger King guy came in to help him. The next fight was going to be Johnny Knoxville's testicles versus 1909 Honus Wagner baseball bat against Tito Ortiz versus whoever our current champion is, and of course Scott had to give himself a little note, find out who this is.
Oh, Pete.
So he went with Tito in that one, obviously, as we later find out, and then apparently Tito beat the
bear.
Tito beat the bear.
Nice.
Herschel beat Mickey Rourke.
Yes, that makes sense.
And then Tito ended up. Winning it. So that's how we have Tito versus Liam
McGeary.
Liam McGeary. So that's it. In case any people are wondering, what is Scott Coker thinking and how does he come to his decisions for the main event? This is the official Scott Coker decision tree.
Wow.
And that's just trying to do what I can.
Well, Pete.
Do I owe Scott an apology?
I don't know. It's good stuff, though, Pete.
I'm just trying to make friends.
You are. See, here the thing is, actually, I have to commend you, though. I think that's the first time round 5 came in within the 5-minute limit. It's usually round.
So you just commended me for being short.
Yes, it's usually. Brevity is the essence of wit.
Again, you weren't funny at all, but I just want to.
Brevity is the essence of wit, Pete. A guy named Bill Shakespeare.
Punctuality can sometimes, be.
Who in delivering the graphics to the computer guy, punctuality, or in us showing up to record the podcast? I'll take it. We're guilty of being late a lot.
Oh, I was just talking about my punctuality of keeping it to 5 minutes, but apparently you decided to bring out the whole laundry basket of dirty laundry. Should we talk about?
I thought you were rolling your eyes because we're always like, Pete, we'll be there at noon. It's 12:40.
See, this is one of the things that we should take a lesson out of
one. Inside Out.
Bellator. And pretend that the camera's off. See what happens after the cameras have stopped rolling.
Hilarious.
Even though they're continuing to rolling. That was.
That I will agree with you on.
The whole thing was cheesy.
Good. That part wasn't.
It's not good for the sport. It's not good for Bellator. It's cheesy. Don't give us a fake after the camera thing.
See, I don't think it's bad for the sport.
It's staged.
Because listen, that part was staged. The fight is, listen, even if, let's say, you were a wrestling fan and the semi-wrestling buildup of this made you curious, you had to sit through Daniel Strauss, Michael Chandler, you had to sit through quote-unquote real fights or whatever to get to that. Like, maybe you actually became a fan because you got drawn in by the big fight that might or might not be a bit of a I'm trying to find the right word that doesn't sound harsh. But I'm saying you had to watch
championship quality.
You had to watch solid, legitimate, viable fighters before you got to that.
They were jealous of Jones DC after the camera, and then they wanted to.
Yeah, after the camera, that was bad.
So what you're saying is their strategy is to trick people, and then to make them watch 2 hours of stuff beforehand, hoping they're going to think, hey, that stuff beforehand. Do you know who used to do that to me? E! Entertainment. And when we return, the kiss heard around the world with Madonna and Miley Cyrus. And then, like, I would watch the entire half an hour, and when we return, and then finally during the closing credits, it'd be like, the kiss first.
Here, I want to say this has come up twice today, chicks kissing.
I'm a fan.
This is hashtag
boys
chicks kissing.
I don't know what these cards were. A nice Father's Day card with a couple chicks kissing would have been more what your dad wanted.
I mean, next time I see the champ, Jędrzejczyk, could you just make out a little bit more?
No, come on, they were a little bit close at the weight.
You think? Yeah, it's cool. But guys get close all the time.
No, they were like nose to nose.
There are famous things of Weidman and Anderson, like face touching.
they were like face snuggling there a little bit. There was I mean, it was mean snuggling.
And then did you look over at the ring girls and see what they were doing, and then your brain just started spinning out of control because you didn't know who to look at?
Well, I was tingling so much all over.
Tingling.
I believe I was glowing. I believe there's a little amber glow.
I believe there was.
So listen, let's hope no one judges this podcast as harshly as I just judged the Bellator stuff.
I'm saying, Scott is a decent guy who, okay, see, you were liking that. You're gonna build captions for this all night long, aren't you? You're gonna just sit there.
Come on, am I wrong?
But it's like, if you don't kiss me, I'm gonna smack.
Oh, yeah, it's you know, listen, there's
never mind. I don't want to even disrespect these two athletes.
Oh, no, these are two incredible athletes. I'm not disrespecting them at all. I'm just saying that I also see them as women who are very independent and beautiful in their own rights, as well as being tremendous athletes.
Anyway.
And I respect everyone's choices, and is that it?
So listen,
I'm going to ask you to read one more comment about me.
No,
I'm really surprised by how knowledgeable Pete is.
Pete, if you want to, do you like jiu-jitsu?
I like saying it. It's a fun word. No, you know, after watching your husband walk around with a sore back for a week, and he looks in much better shape than me and a few years younger than me, I might stick to making fun of people who play sports.
Okay, so at any rate, you can be an observer, a spectator of jiu-jitsu. So our good friends at Five Grappling are putting together the Super League. So Wade here from MMA HEAT, he works alongside these guys, and I don't know what your official title is.
I'm co-producing it.
He's co-producing this.
Nice,
He's
nice.
you know. So he did not co-produce this graphic because he knows how to count, but there will actually be 8 men and 8 women competing in the Super League. Now,
that guy's got a great poker face.
Totally. That's a woman, by the way. That's the girl's side. Hector.
She needs to go to a different hairstylist. So that's all I'm saying. That's
Wow. You might want to make a donation to a women's shelter or something after today's show.
No,
you know
that
what I mean?
looks like a woman. No, those are the same as those.
At any rate.
They further messed up the graphic.
Hector Lombard has been announced. He's our latest addition. Joaziz is in the mix here. Pupilo. It's going to have a lot of great people, men and women. And the cool thing about what these guys are doing is, hey, look at that. Men get $10,000. Hey, look at that. Women get $10,000 for first place.
The same amount?
Second place gets 5 Gs, third place $2,500, because there have been other organizations that don't pay the women the same amount, and that's some bull. So these guys are doing it right. So it's going to be an invitational, and it's also going to be on pay-per-view. It's happening in August.
Do you know how little money ring card boys make compared to ring card girls? We get nothing.
Union. That's all I have to say.
I walk around in my damn Speedo, holding up that sign, as well as any other woman out there, and I get strange looks. People go, get out of the ring, and I've told you again, out of the arena. It's not fair.
Okay, folks. So I think we're going to wrap it up. So this week, I've got UFC tonight. We're back. We were off last week. We'll be back. And Tough Talk, we're coming down, kind of winding down. Things are heating up. We're getting nearer to the end. So
is there still bad blood between these two?
Of course it is bad blood.
It's getting badder.
It's getting bad blood. And then I'll be doing the weigh-in show on Friday. And I'm going to be trying, looking forward this Friday, our good buddy Shek Congo, The Darkness, is back in action at Bellator against Alexander Volkov. So that is going to be fun. And I'm going to try to, I'll give him a call after the show, and we'll probably line up an interview. That's always fun.
His nickname's The Darkness?
Yeah, it kind of officially, unofficially.
I like that.
That's
that's scary.
No, it's fun.
I don't want to fight the darkness.
No, you don't want to fight the
Shoeface.
Yeah, we helped him come up with, in one of our interviews back at UFC 135 or whatever in Denver that time, we had first met him. He was with Quentin, and it was the first time we had met him, Shek, and he'd been around forever, and we had no idea. He's French, and nobody knew anything about him.
Le Nest de Darkness.
And he was just this really dark-skinned African French man who, you know, people really never knew his personality, myself included. And then I sat down to do this interview with him. He's the goofiest, like hilariously funny. You know, some people have a hard time understanding his accent, but he's very, very, very funny. And he and Quentin together, it's like frickin' frack. So, so we became good buddies with him, and I'm sure I'll be able to dial him up and get an interview with him this week. But also, we do have the Tito clip. It's in the edit bay. It'll be up in a matter of hours too.
How do you suggest to someone that a good nickname would be the Darkness without that not coming out as a little bit like, what the hell do you mean?
I'll have to pull it out because he said something about how he makes fun of himself. He's so dark. Like if he's laughing he has to laugh in a dark room for you to be able to find him.
I was adjusting the lighting.
Yeah.
And he said, wait, let me open my eyes and smile for a minute.
So you can see me.
So you can see me. And
gotcha.
It came about.
And it goes from there. And he's just a lovely, lovely human being, wonderful guy, great sense of humor. So always fun to see him in action as well. So we'll get that going for you. And I think that's it for now. I'll work on some other stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right,
Okay. You're going to write those on apology notes? Dear Joanna.
Dear Mr. Coker. Dear Joanna.
Penne.
Dear every UFC fan.
Dear Mr. Coker.
Dear everyone who's played athletics.
Okay, and don't forget again, we've got www.mma.help for techniques, and we'll be getting some more of those up this week, I believe. Yes. That's not my fault if there aren't new ones.
How's that doing, by the way?
It's good.
That's a really cool thing.
It's informative. Yeah. It's informative. Okay, Pete, so where can people find you on the social media?
People can find me at MindNoogie.
Do you tweet?
Every 3 months.
Did you see somebody actually did comment on that? Thanking me for calling you out on the lack of tweeting.
Somebody dropped me. Somebody dropped me from
dude,
that was
it's bad.
It's sad.
If I were grading you, you'd be failing miserably.
It's hard out there for a pen, Pete.
It is, Pete. It's work.
It is. Listen.
There's no way you have.
I'm a father.
You have a lot of stuff. I know.
I'm a father.
I know at least.
I have a lot of time.
At least I'm going to be
Apparently
conservative.
I'm not a good father, but I'm a father.
Conservatively, because I know your brain, at least 10 times a day, you probably chuckle to yourself about some funny retort or something that you have based, like, looking at something that's going on in the world, and you have some wise-ass thing in your head.
And I should put that
Tweet it!
Tweet, all right.
God. Insufferable. I'm on Twitter. You can find me as Karyn Bryant.
Insufferable. My co-host is insufferable.
KARYNBRYANT.
You
can also find me that way on YouTube. We also have MMA HEAT on Facebook.
It's unbearable.
And on Instagram, I'm KB HEAT. I thank you though, Pete, for the 50.
Oh, it's just amazingly intolerable, Karyn.
Folks, maybe you'll see us next week. Maybe you won't. Thanks for listening and watching. Tell your friends it's free. I mean, at least there's that.
Dude, that was Bellator's whole thing too. It's on Spike and it's free. So
and
come on, just sit down and watch it.
And you still complained.
I just
Hater.
Listen. I think the co-main was an interesting fight. It should have been the main.
We gotta go, folks.
Give respect to your champions.
As he wants one champion to make out with her challenger.
I was just saying that it looked like they almost forgot things for a second.
The moment almost got him. The moment almost took him away.
But it did.
Let's just run away from all this madness and go.
I just think they were like, wait. Oh yeah, that's right.
And with that, we will leave you.
Is anyone else tingling?
Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Tingle Brothers? Anybody?
Tingle Brothers. See, this is what I'm saying. You need to start doing this because then it's hashtag chicks kissing, hashtag I'm tingling, hashtag Tingle Brothers.